Hey, Rob travels with Dottie, and this is a habit I'm developing of checking out local independent grocery stores in small towns in New Mexico. And this one's is Dave's Grocery, and I'm gonna go in here and shop. But let me tell you something: this trip
Hi.
turned into
Pretty
something
good.
special. I actually, spoiler alert, at the end of my grocery shopping here, I'm going to meet the owner of this grocery store. I'm going to find out that it's a family legacy that his father started in 1941. And while he embarked on a career on his own as an accountant, he decided, you know what? I'm not having fun doing this. I might have fun back with Dad in the grocery store, and that's what he did. And he's been very happy ever since. I also get to meet his wife, and it was just a wonderful experience. Really interesting people, and this is Fort Sumner, where we are, is it's most famous really for the legend of Billy the Kid, and this is where he was killed, and where he was buried, and a lot of his story happened here. And they talked to me. Dave, he's Dave Jr. His father was Dave. He's Dave too, and he gave me some inside scoop on Billy the Kid. So this is pretty extraordinary, and I know you're probably going to want to fast forward through all this shopping to get to meet Dave Jr. and his wife. So feel free to do that if you're, now that I've told you what's going to happen, you're kind of bored by the shopping, because not much happens until I go out in the parking lot and I'm sitting in my car and there's a knock on my car door and it's Dave. And I'm pretty grateful that he stopped me and invited me in, and he and his wife talked to me in his office. But I was there a lot longer than it's going to show in the video, because I edited quite a bit. I was there for about, I think, an hour and a half. But it's a beautiful store. Check it out. Everything's really, it's very clean, well appointed, well stocked, organized, and of course, everybody in here is very friendly. Jalapeno cheddar. Oh, man. I'll try it.
Hey, that's a nice deal there for the cards.
Oh yeah, and it's got a little Apple thing on it in case I lose it, I can find it.
Cool.
Which is, after I passed 60, stuff like that started happening more and more.
Welcome to the tribe. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You have a wonderful day.
You too.
You doing all right today, sir?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. Find everything all right?
I did.
Nice.
I'm a big fan of independent grocery stores.
Yes, sir.
My first job was in one in the 70s.
The 70s?
Yeah.
Well, we pretty much haven't upgraded since then, so no. So what'd you do now for retirement? Just traveling and seeing
Yeah.
sights and...
Seeing sites, I work a little bit online. part-time.
YouTuber or what?
Huh?
Or YouTubing or?
I do have a YouTube channel,
There you
and your
go.
store is going to be on it. You want to?
Yes, sir. We're wondering about it. Yes, sir.
There you go.
Thank you. Can I get another one?
Yeah.
All right.
Hi.
David, thank you.
Hi.
I own this place.
Oh, you do? Okay. Oh, I have a thing for independent grocery stores because that was my first job when I was a kid in the 70s.
Right.
And people on my channel just love watching me grocery shop. I don't really.
Been open since 1941.
1941. Wow.
My
Okay.
dad opened in,
Well, let me
My
get you
mom-
on camera here.
my mom and dad got married on Friday, and they opened. He was raised on a ranch, and it was the third. He was born in 18. Well, by the time the 30s rolled around, there was the Dust Bowl days and the Depression. The ranch was broke, and there were 9. It was about 2 sections of dry land, and there were 9 people living out there. So he came to town. He came to town when he was, I'm thinking about 14, and got a job. And that's him in a store
Oh, wow.
previous to World War II. There's the original photo. This daughter that's out here, decoupage, that gave it to me. The original photo's right here.
Oh,
And
wow.
this building he built, and that's the middle part of this building out here. It opened out onto the highway. Then this was a vacant building. In fact, that's not it. Oh, there it is. This is the building we're in right there.
Okay.
And this is the transition period when I'm building. There's the building. I built that where the dairy's at. I built it. And I built it myself. And then we took out 210 feet of weight-bearing brick wall and opened it up and turned the front around. I had these arches, but I did not lay the brick.
So let me ask you, was your dad in the Navy in the war?
Yeah, he was.
Right
That
there,
was
huh?
him. Yeah.
That's him. My dad was Army Air Corps in the South Pacific.
My mom was 25 when this picture was taken, and he was 20. He might have. No, he was. They might have been the same age. He was 1 year older, but at that point they might have been the same age. Yeah, that's a picture of him. He was a handsome guy.
Oh yeah, yeah. The Greatest Generation.
Yeah.
Amazing.
He was in the Merchant Marines. So he was an armored guard on a Merchant Marine ship. And there's one of these in San Francisco Harbor. I put that on the 40 site on the internet, and a guy colorized it, and I copied it for me. I don't see that Liberty ship, but you know what a Liberty ship is.
Yeah,
They
I
were
do.
built by
I do.
Kaiser.
Sure.
But he
do.
was on 4 or 5 ships during World War II. And so what they did, they put these Navy guys on there with, they'd have a 3 or 4 inch gun, 4.5, some 50 caliber, some 30 caliber. And I asked my dad one time, Daddy, you see any Japs during the war? He says, if I had, you wouldn't be here. They were sitting duck because those ships were like
Well, for the U-boats, right?
six or-
Yeah.
Well, he was in the Pacific. He probably wouldn't come
Oh,
back.
okay.
The armored guard in the Navy took the greatest hits during World War II, percentage-wise, but it was because of the North Atlantic.
Right, and the German U-boats.
The
Right.
Germans used those U-boats a lot different than the Japanese used them. The Japanese used them more for transport, surveillance, where the Germans were using them for attacks. They used them totally differently, although they were somewhat coordinated. They weren't coordinated that way.
Hi.
That's my life lesson.
Hi, Leslie.
Hi.
I'm a YouTuber, so I'm doing a
okay.
video on the store,
All right.
and your husband's
Yeah.
been kind enough to give me a lot of
Well, we were
information.
pretty
That's
curious
interesting.
about you.
Yeah, we.
This church is at Taiban, and a friend of ours, he does photography,
Right.
and he's got a thing that detects the lightning and snaps the picture.
Oh, that's helpful.
There's lots of
I love this jacket he's got there.
And when I was a kid, that jacket was still hanging in the closet. It's a CPO type wool jacket, and it was red and black. And my daughter colorized it. It's not colorized exactly. It's what they call that. There's a term for it. There's the original photo.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And I they cropped it down. And this is my mom and dad and my uncle. And my sister is in a bassinet there. And these are my mom and dad and some help. And this is the lady that worked for us.
What a legacy this is.
Oh, yeah, there's the livery ship. Right
Oh,
there.
okay. I see
There
it.
it is.
Yeah.
That on the ship.
Oh, he made that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Out of
Is
the
it
gun.
brass?
It's, yeah, there's a shell.
Right.
There's
Gotcha.
and I've got a lamp at the house that's got like a ship's wheel made out of bullets.
Who are the kids here?
This is me, my sister, she's passed away, and my older sister. This is the same.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to give you a coffee cup if you want one.
Oh, I'd love one.
Comes off that photo right there.
Oh,
See, where is it?
beautiful.
Oh, right there. There's a guy in this photo, but that's it.
Okay.
See, we took him out. This is a line drawing.
I don't have too many physical things because I live in a 21-foot trailer full time.
Where you at?
I'm over at the state park. I bought the New Mexico State Park pass, so I've been here all summer just bouncing all around the state because it's such a good deal. So Travels with Dottie is an homage to John Steinbeck's Travels with Charlie. It was John Steinbeck got in a camper and drove across the country and wrote an autobiography about it called Travels with Charlie. Charlie was his French poodle. And it was my dad's favorite book. And he always had a dream to hit the road in a camper, and he never got to do it. But so I'm doing it. So I'm named the channel in honor of my
I
father.
guess you and I both have something in common.
What's that?
We both live in our dad's dream.
Yeah.
That's what I always said. How did
Yeah.
I end up back here? I went to college. I had an accounting degree, and I ended up running a grocery store doing the same thing.
I have an accounting degree too. I went to Northeastern University in Boston in the 70s and got a bachelor's degree in accounting.
That's what I have.
Yeah.
And you can't drive down and back to town that you don't meet cars, Texas, different states.
Right.
Mainly Texans, but you'll see all kinds of states. But in Europe, Billy is really popular. Germany is a hot spot for Billy. So there's Germans down there.
Wow.
He's also hot in I told him German, and they said, oh no, he's hotter. I can't remember what they told me. I don't think it was England. Might be Spain.
Well, he certainly made a big impact in a very short amount of time in his life.
He lived life fast, didn't he?
Yeah. Born in Hell's Kitchen, New York City. It's a long way from here.
Well, have you heard about Bushy Bill Roberts?
No.
Okay, Bushy Bill Roberts is a character from Hyco, Texas, and he claimed to be Billy. He claimed Pat and Billy had been friends, so he claimed that the night that Billy was supposed to have been shot, that Pat let Billy escape because they were old friends, and he was supposed to live a life.
So whose body is it in the grave?
Okay, that's the question. See?
Yeah.
And so I was mayor 30 years ago, and Hyco got it stirred up again. And they've got, in Hyco, Texas, they've got a lot of stuff on Bushy Bill Roberts. And Bushy Bill Roberts actually came to the governor of New Mexico in 48 or something like that and tried to get a pardon, but Los Alamos ran a face recognition on Billy and this Bushy Bill Roberts, and I can't remember the numbers, but Billy was out of 500 people. Bushy Bill Roberts was 450. It wasn't very close.
Right.
So that kind of dispelled that, but they're still pushing it. And there was a guy from HICO, a judge named can't remember his name. He was here, and I said, "Oh, you know, this is a bunch of baloney." He said, "Don't worry about it. The controversy will make everybody money." Go to the museum down here when you're here.
I did a video there too.
Ron
Yeah.
told me that owns that museum, the guy that's 90 something that's in there. He said that the year after that, oh yeah, he says, man, business was up. But what my dad said about it, he says, at the time, he says, what's funny here is that they waited till all the eyewitnesses died, and then they start stirring this up.
Of course.
You know how these
course.
history channels are. Oh, this could be, might have been, you know, there's not much real actual fact in these things.
Yeah,
My
that
dad told me when he was a young man that there were still people around here that knew Billy and that were there getting buried. And that,
yeah, there would have been certainly in the 20s and the 30s. Yeah.
There were still people around, and that there wasn't any question. So, you know, he's down there. But there was a flood in I can't remember the year, 1905 or something, and it. If you were down there at the grave, and I know you didn't look, and you look back towards the east where the old west where the old fort was.
Okay, I can picture that because I knew where it was. Yeah.
And you're standing in the cemetery, and here's Billy's grave, and there's a fence behind there, and you look back, and there's the valley. It stretches. It's 10 miles wide right now.
Right.
It's steeper on the south than it is the east. But the amount of water it would take to fill that valley and tumble the tombstones at the cemetery, because that's what happened in 1905, that's a lot of water.
That is a lot of water.
I can't even hardly believe
Because the original fort was way back here, right? And it's obliterated.
Right, and it washed, that flood washed the Maxwell house away where he was shot. There's the river, it's in the riverbed now, where that would have been. But the amount of water it'd take to fill that valley was, to me, is just astronomical.
Absolutely.
So it moved the stone, and some old timers that back to the south to the north of Billy the Kid's grave, outside the cemetery wall, there's a small structure there, and that structure was there in. The cemetery is here, and the grave is, say, right here, and you come in. And that big building that comes up, there's kind of a notch in it, and right back in, well, it's more right here. There's a little building that's freestanding, not attached to this. That is the building, I understand, that the old timers paced off and says, yeah, this is about where that grave was at.
Really?
Right, after it washed the stones away.
So they don't know for sure that site is the exact site where his body is, do they?
And the last few times they have dug down there for a grave, which they haven't done that in years and years, they would dig up bodies, you know. They moved the soldiers to either Santa Fe or Fort Stanton that were buried. That you didn't have to be a soldier to be buried in there. There were a lot of people, pioneers, buried in there.
Well, one grave I noticed that really got to me right near Billy's grave is the grave of a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
And then I noticed the first wife of Maxwell. I see she died at 17 years old.
Really? Yeah.
17 years old.
Maybe in childbirth. You know?
Maybe, yeah.
Nothing.
You can get anything you want.
Okay, kind of like Alice's restaurant.
Like Alice's restaurant, right?
But you can get anything and more at Dave's grocery store. You can get anything and more at Dave's grocery store. Walk right in, it's around the back. Just a little bit from the railroad track. You can get anything and more at Dave's grocery store.
That's great.
She's got another
And
one.
I have another one, but Oh, I've got it. Do you have time?
Yeah, absolutely, I
I've got
do.
it on my phone. Oops, I need my glasses.
I married a music major.
When you're alone and life is making you lonely, you can always go to Dave's. When you're in need of groceries, all the food and the specials seem to help, I know. At Dave's, just go down all the aisles, look at everything there is. Linger in one place and check your list. How can you lose? The lights are much brighter there because they are LED lights you see everywhere at Dave's. Things will be great when you're at Dave's. No finer place for sure, Dave's. Everything's waiting for you. Don't hang around and let your problems surround you. You'll find your favorite food at Dave's. Maybe you know of something special to cook, and you can find it, yeah, at Dave's. You'll listen to the rhythm of the registers at the front. You'll be dancing with them when you check out at the front. You're happy again.
You ought to put that on YouTube, Les.
The lights are
Gonna be
much
on YouTube.
brighter there because they are LED lights you see everywhere at Dave's, where all the lights are bright. Dave's, waiting for you.
okay?
Dave's, you're gonna be alright now.
Yay! That's great.
So our electric bill used to average 3, now it averages 2.
That's pretty significant.
Right. And all these other boxes we put in, that all helped.
Hello, y'all.
See you guys later. I'm still headed over to your buddy's place.
Well, I'm glad I got to meet you.
Yeah, I'm glad I met you. This is very fun. I'm going to turn it off now.